Accept.
You have a
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 We're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 87, text number 33.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Vijita Harisika Vayabhir Adanta Manasturagam Ya Iha Yatanti Yantum Atilokamupaya Kida Vyasana Satan Vita Samavihaya Guru Sharanam Vanija Ivaja Santi Akrutakarnadharam Chaladau. Translation and purport by the disciples of Srila Prabhupada. Translation: the mind is like an impetuous horse that even persons who have regulated their senses and breath cannot control. Those in this world who try to tame the uncontrolled mind but who abandon the feet of their spiritual master encounter hundreds of obstacles in their cultivation of various distressful practices. O unborn Lord, they are like merchants on a boat in the ocean who have failed to employ a helmsman. Purport: to become qualified to attain love of Godhead, the mature fruit of liberation, one must first subdue the rebellious material mind. Though difficult, it can be achieved when a person replaces his addictions to sense gratification with a taste for the higher pleasures of spiritual life. But only by the favor of the representative of Godhead, the spiritual master, can one gain this higher taste. The spiritual master opens the eyes of the disciple to the wonders of the transcendental realm, as indicated in the Gayatri prayers by the seed mantra of divine knowledge aim. The Mandaka Upanishad 1.2.12 states, Tad Vijnanartham sa gurum eva vigachet. Samitpanihi Srotrityam Brahmanishtam. To understand these things properly, one must humbly approach with firewood in hand a spiritual master who is learned in the Vedas and firmly devoted to the absolute truth. And the Katha Upanishad 2.9 declares, Naishat Tarkena Matir Apaneya Proktanyeneva Sujnanya Preshta. This realization, my dear boy, cannot be acquired by logic. It must be spoken by an exceptionally qualified spiritual master to the knowledgeable disciple. Non-Vaishnavas often discard the importance of surrendering to the spiritual master who stands in an authorized line of disciplic succession. Relying instead on their own abilities, proud yogis and jnanis exhibit their apparent success to impress the world, but their glory is but temporary. Yugnanam abhaktanam pranayam madhir manaha aksina va sanam rajan drishyate punar uttitam. The mind of non-devotees who engage in such practices as pranayama are not fully cleansed of material desires. Thus, O king, material desires are again seen to arise in their minds. Bhagavatam 10:51-60. On the other hand, a humble, steadfast devotee of Lord Vishnu and of the Vaishnavas is assured of easy victory over the stubborn mind. He need not concern himself with performing the eightfold system of yoga or taking other such measures to keep his mind steady. Sarvam chitad gurau bhaktya puraso hi agnas ag, anjasa jayet. A person can easily obtain all these goals simply by being devoted to his spiritual master. Otherwise, a non devotee may conquer his senses and vital air and still fail to tame his mind, which will continue to run wild like an unbroken horse. He will suffer unending anxiety over the troublesome execution of various spiritual practices. And in the end, he will remain just as lost in this vast material ocean as he ever was. The analogy given here is very appropriate. A group of merchants who hastily enter upon a sea voyage with expectations of great profit, but who fail to hire a competent helmsman for their boat will simply experience great difficulty. The Bhagavatam declares the importance of the bona fide spiritual master in many places, such as this verse from the 11th canto, 20.17. Nudeham adyam sulabham sudurlabham plavam sukalpam guru karnadharam mayanukulena nabhasvatre ritam puman bhavadvim nataret sa atmaha. The human body, which can award all benefit in the life, is automatically obtained by the laws of nature. Although it is a very rare achievement, the human body can be compared to a perfectly constructed boat, having the spiritual master as the captain and the instructions of the personality of Godhead as favorable winds impelling it on its course. Considering all these advantages, a human being who does not utilize his human life to cross the ocean of material existence must be considered a killer of his own soul. Therefore, the first business of one who takes human life seriously is to find out a spiritual master who can guide him in Krishna consciousness. Srila Sridhara Swami prays, Yada parananda guru bhavet pade padam mano me bhavallabheta tada nirastakhila sadhana smaraha srayeya saukyam bhavata kripata. O transcendently blissful Guru, when my mind finally achieves a place at your lotus feet, all the threesome labor of my spiritual practices will be finished, and by your mercy, I will experience the greatest happiness. Jai. For prayers, Om Agnanatimmirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Sha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Pashatya Desatarini. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So in this chapter, the prayers of the personified Vedas, praying to Krishna, this beautiful verse, in translation will read again. The mind is like an impetuous horse that even persons who have regulated their senses and breath cannot control.
The mind is like a what horse?
Impetuous horse.
Impetuous. Impetuous.
Impetuous.
Impetuous.
Impetuous. Sorry.
Hmm.
The,
Interesting word.
not impetuous horse, impetuous horse.
Okay.
Impotent horse either. Impetuous.
Impetuous, I'm sorry.
No, please, thank you. Thank you for that. Those in this world who try to tame the uncontrolled mind, but who abandon the feet of their spiritual master, encounter hundreds of obstacles in their cultivation of various distressful practices. O unbound Lord, they are like the merchants on a boat in the ocean who fail to employ a helmsman. So this verse is speaking about the importance of taking shelter of the spiritual master in one's spiritual practice. I seek the blessings of Adipurush Prabhu, Janita Prabhu, and all the devotees to share some sentences on this verse. So, Sri Prabhupada has given us a program where we start the day with the glorifying the spiritual master, with Guru Ashtakam, and we end the morning program with Guru Puja here. So that is Prabhupada wanted to stress that in this Prabhupada introduced Guru Ashtakam within ISKCON, but it was not earlier, but in Gaudiya Sampradaya, I think, but I think the Prabhupada wanted to stress the importance of following or taking shelter of spiritual master. So, very many verses are quoted in the purport telling, by glorifying, by stressing the importance of the spiritual master. One verse which Prabhupada often quotes is this Mandaka Upanishad verse, Tad Vijnanartham Sagurum Eva Abhigachet. In many lectures, always Prabhupada quotes, and he clearly tells that Abhigachet, he says that word, and then he says how it must be. He stresses that it's not a choice. If one wants to be realized in spiritual practices or in perfect their spiritual practices, one must approach the spiritual master. And that too who is in the disciplic succession. So we are coming in the disciplic succession, all Prabhupada and all gurus from Brahma, Madhya, Gaudiya Sampradaya. We all know how there are 4 disciplic successions. But there are many spiritual practitioners who follow their practices in other traditions, in other place, who are not in these disciplic successions. They don't stress so much on the importance of their spiritual master. They worship spiritual master once a year, called Guru Purnima. Just happened. Just few days back, we had a Guru Purnima, where they worship only once a year. Rest of the time, it is on their own practices. They believe in their own practice and see how to, even to some extent, uh, it says that they want to surpass their guru. They use the guru as a ladder and then throw the ladder away when you want to climb up. So, but the Vaishnava paramparas stress on the importance of spiritual master throughout, not just till achieve perfection, but after also an eternal relation. So, a spiritual master is always praying for his disciples and instructing the disciples and guiding the disciples. And it's the duty of the disciple to accept those instructions and perfect the life. So it is both. It is spiritual master guides and disciple follow. But sometimes, as a disciple, they advance. Sometimes they think, I know everything. No need to follow. Or I'll do what I can, I want to do. Following with our own mind. Mind is gives so many reasons. Or sometimes the best reason the mind gives not to follow the instruction of spiritual master is to procrastinate. To just procrastinate, okay, not today. I'll not follow some things today. So Prabhupada quotes the story of Kailash. You heard of Kailash story? Chaitanya Prabhu is nodding. So this Kailash, this man, he wanted to practice spiritual life. So he gets fortune to approach Narada Muni. And then he asked Narada Muni to be his spiritual master. And Narada Muni agrees and accepts him as a disciple. This was when Kailash was like 7 years old. 7 years old boy. So he asked. Then after accepting as his disciple, Narada Muni tells Kailash, okay, you come and travel with me. And Kailash, oh no, I am so young. I have to study, I have to go to school, I have to get some things. My parents want me to settle in life and all. He says, now I'll come later when I grow up. Narada Muni goes and then he comes back to the village where Kailash is staying. And he says, Kailash, I see you're grown up now. And I see you're married also. Now you come. You said when you're grown up, you will come. I see you're now settled with your job, with your whatever, not maybe job, but whatever you're doing. So, and Kailash said, no, I just got married and I got this little kids. I need to first take care of them. That's my responsibility. Now scriptures say the mother and father's responsibility to take care of the children. So I need to first take care of my children. So Kailash says, okay, I'll come back later. Then Narada Muni comes back and Kailash has become old. And the children are grown up and they are taking care of the affairs which father has set up, everything, the business, and they're farming and all that they had. And Narada Muni says, okay, now you have become old, come now. Otherwise, it will become too late. He says, no, my children are not responsible. I have to instruct them every time. I have to keep taking care of them. Otherwise, all the hard work I have done all these years will go in vain. So he says, I'll come once they settle and once they become more responsible. Narad Muni comes again after a few years. Then he asks, where is Kailash? They say their grown-up men were there and they said, oh, he's our dad, he passed away. Such a great person he is, things like that. And Narad Muni thinks, okay, I lost him. I started going, then a dog is barking. Narada Muni, Guru, my Guru. And the dog, Kailash is in a dog body, guarding the house. And then Narada says, Kailash, you are in dog bodies. You wasted a human life. But it's fortunate that you still remember me. I could see you. Please, now you come. It's not late. Now you come with me. And Kailash says, Narada Muni, no. My children are still not responsible. They leave the doors open and go away. and then the grandchildren are playing sometimes, and then some things come, some different dangerous things come, and they may cause the harm. I cannot live. I worked so hard for this family. I just can't live now. I'll come back later. So Narada Muni, again merciful Guru, he always waits for disciple to come and take shelter. So he goes away, Narada Muni. And then Narada Muni, again in his travels, he comes across again this village. Again he comes back. And then he inquires, hey, there was a dog here. Where is the dog? He says, oh, the dog passed away. It was such a faithful dog. Always played with the children and such a faithful dog. They're telling, whose Kailash children are telling. And then Narada Muni says, oh, I don't know now in which species he has gone. So Narada Muni started going back. Then he hears a hissing sound. It's a snake. The snake is hissing and telling, Narada Muni, Kailash here. Oh, Kailash, Sachina, you took a life of a snake. It's terrible, it must be. And then says, no, it's okay. I am here in this. These are the farms, these are the fields, which I have purchased and kept grow and then cultivated all these years. And sometimes different animals come in these fields and they spoil the fields. So I'm guarding these fields. As a snake, I go round and guard these fields. Then Madhumi says, okay, you are guarding the fields, but how long? You come now. At least in the snake body, you can perfect your life. Then the Kailash says, no, I can't come now. No, these crops are coming up. I have to really protect these crops, otherwise it will become whole waste. All the wild animals, the buffaloes and the cows, they come and destroy this field, this crop. Then Narada Muni understands Kailash is not going to change. He goes to the house of Kailash and says, there's a big snake in your field in the backyard. Your kids are playing. The snake is there. It may come and cause harm anytime. And then these children of Kailash, they understood. And then they bring the sticks. And then they ask, where is the snake? Where is the snake? And Narada Muni shows the snake. And they start beating him and kill them. Then this Kailash said, no, I am your father. I have done all this. Hissing. And then the more it hissing, they start beating more. The children start beating stake, and then he says, oh my Guru Narada Muni, please save me, help me. And then Narada Muni, okay, now you come with me. Yes, I'm ready to come. Then he goes with Narada Muni. So Prabhupada quotes this story, I think from Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur's story it is. He quotes this story many times, where he says how devotees, as practicing devotees, we have the knowledge, we have the understanding, but we always try to procrastinate. Sometimes procrastination is okay for some instructions, but the practices should not be procrastinated. Like Srila Prabhupada, he tells how he has a desire to serve his spiritual master by earning wealth. And Prabhupada even quotes that, some astrologer has even said, I have chances to become very rich, very wealthy man like the Birlas, Prabhupada quotes. The Birlas are like a big wealthy family in India back then. So, still they are, yeah. So, Prabhupada is quoting, I had a chances, so I wanted to serve my spiritual master by earning money and helping the mission. And Prabhupada says, but I had a very nice business going on in Allahabad and all chances were there to become very wealthy. But always something happened and my business collapsed. I tried to start it again, did so many things, but it never happened. So I understood it's Krishna's will. And then Prabhupada just gave up everything and then he focused on fulfilling the instruction of spiritual master to coming to the West. So, but his practices, where even in his business time and all, he would, wherever he would travel for his business, he would had a regular, he would get up, rise early, and then he practiced his in spite of cold or heat, he practice his practices as instruction of his spiritual master. So the following instruction of spiritual master is so important. So there is a spiritual master service is both like Vapu and Vani. Vapu is serving his body, spiritual master's body, for needs and all. And the Vani, instruction. So Vapu seemingly is easy, like you serve spiritual master, it's easier compared to Vani. Vani means you have to serve with mind and follow the instructions. So many instructions. But Vapu seems easy, but many wants, I want to serve my spiritual master. So serve my spiritual master means not serving Vapu. That is needed. If opportunity comes, we should not give up, but that is not this serving spiritual master. Serving Vani is the way of serving spiritual master. So, because, like mentioned clearly, so many verses in this purport mentioned how one's own practices will just cause disturbance. It is just cause disturbance and it just derails from the goal. And also this verse in the Bhagavatam, which often is quoted, is the human body is like a boat, where once it's very, very rare it is to achieve the human body. And it's like a boat, and it's perfectly constructed boat. And then the spiritual master is like the captain. And the instructions of spiritual and of the Lord are favorable winds. So considering all these advantages, a human being must utilize this human life to cross over the ocean of material existence. Otherwise, he must be considered the killer of his own soul. Like we see in the example of Kailash, but ultimately surrendered. That's good. It took 3 lives for him. But if you don't accept spiritual master as the captain of this boat, the captain of the boat, he has full authority. He or she has to steer the boat in whichever direction is needed. So spiritual master should be that captain to this human body. Otherwise, this is a human body is very rare to obtain. It will become a waste. The killer of soul. So and so it's mentioned here. These are some thoughts. We have some time. Some more realizations from others.
Hare Krishna. Personally, we have nothing to say, but we pray to Srila Prabhupada what he would like us to say. Please make a prayer that what we have to say is only what we've heard from Guru and Shastra, with no distortion and no inappropriate motivation. So perfectly presented class, the principle about the mind being difficult to control and how the spiritual master, being the master of the ship of our life, can help us, and only without the grace of the spiritual master can we control the restless mind, impetuous mind, jumping like a monkey. And anyone can do this at any time, no matter what their situation. Prabhupada calls us. Um, the tendency is procrastination, or we have guru, but guru in a box. You know that? Guru in a box means, oh, here's my toaster, here's my cell phone, here's my guru. Open the box. Haribol. Don't let him speak into your life. He might ask you to do something you don't want to do, go someplace you don't want to go. You know, he's my guru, just like this character that Prabhu was speaking about, who he had other things to do besides go with the spiritual master. So we not only is it imperative that we desire a spiritual master, that we take Nashamati Stavad Urukum Grims Prashatikatapa, the verse that says, one must take shelter of a pure devotee who has nothing to do with this material world, but is simply engaged in devotional service to Krishna. Taking shelter means, how can I serve you? Show me where you want me to go, what you want me to say. And then we are protected by the grace of the spiritual master in the form of his instruction, in the form of his service to help push on Lord Chaitanya's movement. And we hear it, we desire it, we talk about it, we try for it, and Krishna will help us. And certainly everybody here is already pleasing Krishna by hearing this, how the importance of the spiritual master is there. Because the mind is like an endlessly flowing river, continually concocting different things we should endeavor for and desire. But one who is, the verse in the Bhagavad Gita says, if we are enamored by different forms of material enjoyment and bewildered by such things, the resolute determination of devotional service to Krishna will not take place. So we are giving ourselves to the Guru. And we can see Srila Prabhupada, he didn't immediately, in one sense, take up what the spiritual master asked him to do, but he kept it in his heart. This is what he wants. This is where I should go. This is what I must try for. And at the right time, Krishna opened the door and Prabhupada exploded all over the world with preaching. Anyway, the simple principle, and we are just reflecting how nicely Prabhu already explained it. All right, John Prabhu, you want to speak?
I have a question that Chad has. Sorry. Well, quite a few people online have their hands up here and then.
There are questions online.
Oh, the people online, one question.
Maybe Karen or Min have a question. Your hands raised.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for that wonderful class. I just wanted to say that was really very relatable. That story was, I feel like, I don't know if everybody experiences that, but that's sort of been the defining factor of my life. Like I just, especially with losing my mom and, feeling these calls to be in a certain place, but then not really being able to kind of escape these material responsibilities or attachments and everything. And even especially it's been on my mind because of that with with a spiritual master. I had been called to this movement by when I first heard Radhanath Swami Maharaj in 2000, I don't know, 10 or 12 or something. And I got swept up in a whirlwind of material life, having children and everything. And now I feel like I've been trying, I'm at this point after losing my mom and going through so much stuff that trying to get back to being in his association and feeling that call and just not really knowing how to break free from these material attachments and like kind of this cycle of being overwhelmed by being pulled in so many directions, while the one thing that is calling me is difficult to to follow, to go towards. So I don't know if you have any insight to that, but if not, it's definitely a I don't know, maybe it's just a big struggle worldwide. I don't know. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Advisha wants to share.
Yeah. Srila Prabhupada tells us the hand that rocks the cradle rules the world. People might minimize the importance of motherhood, parenthood, taking care of children, but where would we be without Prabhupada's mother? I mean, this is important service. Some people are called to serve as a sannyasi. Some people are called to serve as a parent. And they're equally pleasing to Krishna and very effective. And just by coming to this class and sharing every day and hearing and encouraging your children to chant, this is very pleasing to Krishna and very important. Don't ever minimize that. Anyone I find criticizing people who are in the household or ashram, we probably burn like fire and say, no, this is very pleasing to me and very important.
Yeah, I just want to, same point that surrendering to spiritual master or following instructions doesn't mean that we have to give up our responsibilities. It has to go together. So it is not that it's one or other. It's always together. In Prabhupada's life also, he received instruction when he's 21 years old, but he took care of all his responsibilities. And then when the time came, he completely, with Krishna's guidance and spiritual master's guidance, he surrendered completely. But always he is serving spiritual master's instruction along with the responsibilities he had to raise the family and have different things. So it's good. They go together. It's not one or other. It is. That's what that's what the spiritual master teaches also. No spiritual master says, give up your responsibilities and then just come with me. But it is more like, the story is more like, it's about our consciousness, like we should have that, the serving spiritual master or following spiritual practices is my main business. And then taking care of responsibility of my having the social family of responsibilities is my secondary business. But they should not be conflicting. So we have to see where it is the intelligence is. We have to apply where we have to see which one to give priority and which not. But the perfection of making the human body, the human goal is to achieve the perfection. That should be the main business for everyone. Sometimes it could go back seat, back burner, but so it's a constant balance. It is
Thank you.
more hands raised.
Thank you. That was a really wonderful answer from both of you. And I also I feel like at this moment, in terms of making like life decisions and finding a proper service, like I am kind of praying for that guidance from a spiritual master, and I don't have a person like a mentor, a person to sort of guide, especially having lost my mother. And I feel like that in the material world of like direction and guidance is still something that I am requiring to sort of proceed. But I do totally, I'm really grateful for that insight that you gave about motherhood and the importance of kind of balance and family life.
Janita Prabhu, you want to add?
Well, I was just gonna add to what both of you said around that point of motherhood, and just since you mentioned Radhanath Maharaj, just recently speaking with someone who said that you can't hear me.
I'm listening, but as loud as I can.
Yeah, so recently Marge, he made a comment, someone shared with me a comment that he made that actually to a mother, that actually your most important service is to look after your child, and you should be doing that. And I've heard him say that on a number of occasions to mothers. So yeah, just wanted to reinforce what was being said.
Yeah, I'm uncomfortable with this balance philosophy. Yeah, when I'm finished with this silly business of taking care of children, then I'll do some real service. What? Don't do that. I don't feel Krishna is saying jai to that. Being a parent, a Krishna conscious parent, is a very important service. The hand that rocks the cradle rules the world. We need the parents to be Krishna conscious parents, the sannyasis to be Krishna conscious sannyasis. Wherever Krishna puts you, there's a way to put Krishna in the center and to broadcast the message. We see so many instances. We told the story recently. Chakravarti was in London, and he was this college student from Germany, and he followed the devotees back from Harinam back to the temple. They were cleaning the temple, and they told him to clean the stairs, and he was like, "Clean the stairs? I'm a college, university student. What?" And with one finger, he was reluctantly sitting on the step, and little Saraswati came and said, "That's not how you serve Krishna. You serve Krishna like this, you know?" And he was like, "What?" He said that at that moment, my false ego was smashed and I actually surrendered. A child can speak this powerful message very simply and clearly and be a very effective preacher. And a parent can give that message to the child can pass it on. Anyway, we're repeating this. I'm sorry to talk so long. Oh, glory to Prabhupada.
Others who are raising hand wants to share anything?
And men also happen. Men.
Min is there and Mathuranath Prabhu, any one of you.
Thank you so much for the class. It was such a great class. As you were speaking about Kailash, I was just thinking, really, oh, that's me. I'm Kailash. And and I was thinking about the contrast between Kailash and Dhruva Maharaj, both young boys, and Narada Muni showing up in their lives, and how Dhruva Maharaj just begged him for help, where Kailash is not doing that. And I'm not initiated, so I don't have a spiritual master, that I could speak to, but I know Prabhupada to be my most important teacher at this point, and his instructions all over in his purports. But feeling like I'm Kailash, I'm just wondering, what can I do genuinely, really, to genuinely ask for help from Prabhupada? I just feel like maybe my mindset is not there.
Yeah, so when you are in the process, process of accepting a spiritual master. So it's just a process. It's not an overnight thing that suddenly, Prabhupada is telling to his instructions in purport, like you said, always. But also one of the instructions is to accept a spiritual master. So we should have the patience, and the time comes. Where the desire is there, Krishna sends the spiritual master. Krishna sends the mentor, a spiritual master. Spiritual master is not just in Diksha Guru. Spiritual master is not, I wanted to touch this point, but I thought let's give some time. The point is that we have three types of spiritual masters. Pata Prataksha Guru, the one who has brought us to the path of devotional service, who gave us a book, who told us to go to a temple, to a program, or to kirtan. He is also a guru, but he just Pata Prataksh, he just showed the path. And then there is in the path we start going, there are Siksha Gurus. There are many who gives us Siksha, instructions, or encourage us, or tell us. There are many Siksha Gurus. And there is one Diksha Guru who gives us the initiation. So Siksha, our line is Siksha line it is. If you see, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj initiated Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur, but Bhaktivinoda Thakur spiritual master is different. So like our Siksha line it is. So we have to see that, where we can seek for a mentor and then follow that. Thank you. So time to darshan.
And everything Right? Same touch. Very sweet conch to be able to.
I push out. Bhajami Govinda Hari Purusha Aham Bhajami Govinda Hari Purusha
Yeah, Shishiradha Muralidhara Gorcha. Srila Prabhupada, the keys, lotus feet of our spiritual master, and the only way by which we can obtain pure devotional service. I bow down to his lotus feet with great awe and reverence. By his grace, one can cross the ocean of material suffering and obtain the mercy of Krishna. My only wish is to have my consciousness purified by the words and the name of his lotus mouth. Attachment to his lotus feet is the perfection that fulfills all desires. He opens my darkened eyes and builds my heart with transcendental knowledge. He is my Lord, birth after birth. From him, ecstatic prem emanates. By him, ignorance is destroyed. Vedic scriptures sing his character. Our spiritual master is the ocean of mercy, the friend of the poor and the Lord of masters. Oh, Master, be merciful unto us. Give us the shade of your lotus feet. May your fame be spread all over the three worlds. We take shelter at your lotus feet. Srila Prabhupada ki. Yeah.
Thank you, Janitai Prabhu.
Hari Hari.
Welcome to the Afterglow. We have Maturnath Prabhu raising his hand while driving.
Haribo, really nice discussion. I was just referring back to the topic of being Krishna conscious and family and Grihastha ashram. Something I found very inspiring is Mahatma Prabhu told me personally, actually said, perfect the Grihastha ashram. We need more devotees who want to perfect the ashram, not try to run away from it. And because sometimes he also said there's people who take sannyas who think, I'm done with this. Now I'm just going to go take sannyas, instead of perfecting that. And then through perfecting it, they prepare themselves for a higher order of life, but also around taking care of children. And so much of what we're doing to perfect that is around what are we doing. It's not just in the taking care of the family members is so important. Are we praying to Krishna, show me how to take care of this family member, show me how to serve them, show me how to bring them closer to you? But also, apart from that, are we doing the things that are raising our consciousness to bring us to, instead of being in our lower self, which a lot of people are in family life, they fall into that that sense of just being very familiar with each other and being willing to speak whatever is on their mind or whatever emotion they're having. Am I working on being in my highest self and speaking very lovingly and respectfully? And this, Krishna, this is very pleasing to Krishna. So there's so many aspects of how we can really be working on ourselves in family life. I have a lot to learn. I've had a lot of failures myself, and I'm really working on bettering myself in these ways. So please pray for all of you. Pray for me. I'm humbly just speaking what I'm trying to work on.
Dear devotees, please bless Mathuranath to perfect your Hasta Ashram he is in, and in a broader sense too. Thank you, Mathuranath. What if I'm all loving and caring, but then my partner isn't always loving and caring? Is it their fault or my fault?
It's your fault.
My fault. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
It's always your fault. Well, and a really amazing way, if the other person is maybe getting upset and we're able to be more level-headed, but if we always take accountability for our actions, then we'll be a leader in showing the other person how they can take accountability when they slip up or make a mistake or in their lower self. We're going to fall into that sometimes, maybe less, but if we really take full accountability when we do it, we can be that leader that shows that example.
Okay, that was a good one, Mathuranath. Thank you. You lead by example, by taking the humble position, and people will pick up on that sooner or later, or maybe not. We're going to go on with our service. Thank you. Would anyone like to speak? Ask a question? Share a reflection? Adi Purusha Prabhu is here. He'll answer. Narottam Nita Prabhu is raising his hand.
Yeah, I really like I wanted to say I really like the instruction about Srila Prabhupada's Vani and like, the Srila Spiritual Master's Vani and serving that. That is really important because what I've realized, I mean, I'm not exalted at all, but whenever we really need Krishna in our life and we reach out to him, he's there for us. He hears our prayers no matter what. And do we have the eyes to see Krishna? I mean, unless we're progressing as the devotee, we'll get to see. But we do. If we do the prayers, we actually see that some of our prayers, especially in relation to Krishna consciousness, get answered. Like yesterday, I was distributing books. I was really praying to find somebody who would want to, listen to me, talk, and I got distributed 5 books to her, and she was really appreciative. I was like, wow, this actually works. Like, I prayed for it and it worked. So what I'm trying to say is like, yeah, Srila Prabhupada, Krishna, they're always there for us. And they're, I mean, being a spiritual master is not like what is it called? It's not a joke. It's like, being a representative of Krishna, it's a very exalted position. And so I mean, the reason I was saying that is, but there's this whole Vapu, thing that, some of, how can I say, Grihastha life like allows us to like not only take care of, like, I don't know how can I say it. It's like if we had a desire to serve our spiritual masters through our Vapu, we can essentially do that in a way through the Grihastha life, because that's part of Grihastha life. Of course, the Vani is also there, but if you wanted to become spiritual masters ourselves, in a way we can become spiritual masters if we have a Grihastha life. We can have that little world of our own and really make things work. I don't know. I don't know. My only question is, I'm just looking for association. I went through a little bit of a downfall personally, but yeah, just looking for association for, because I still have to enter Grihastha life. So no, it's
Hare Krishna, wonderful. I heard,
Thank you.
I read a book. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, how can Narottam Nitai Prabhu enter Grihastha life? Haripusha Prabhu. That's the question.
Let me answer his question, and then I'll answer your question. Okay?
Yeah,
Is that okay?
yeah.
He was asking about association. I read a book about a Christian minister in Romania, Richard Wurmbrand, and he was imprisoned for preaching when the Nazis were entering there, and he was speaking truth to power. And in the prison situation, they felt that he was so dangerous as a preacher that they kept him in solitary confinement for years. He wasn't even allowed to talk to the guards. And here is like a person completely isolated from any association, like Prabhu was asking, how can he? And he said, as long as I kept doing kirtan, praising the Lord, writing, making poems and songs to Krishna, glorifying the Lord, and even preaching in the solitary confinement, I was connected to every other devotee at any place in the world at any time. It's called there's a word for it. Uh,
Communion of saints, isn't
Very
it?
good. The communion of saints, that we are connected. We are outside of time and space. And as long as we're serving Krishna, glorifying Krishna, repeating what Krishna has to say, hearing what Krishna has to say, we are connected to every other devotee ever, anywhere. Prabhupada said, I am never separated from my spiritual master, even though his spiritual master had left the planet years before. So we have that access. And if we remember that's not a matter of geographical location or even time, but we can step into the association of devotees when we're serving Krishna. There's a kirtan going on. So that's one question. Min also asked a really good question about, well, what do I do? I don't have guru right now, but the thing is, she's in the process. We're in the process of hearing the truth, of desiring the truth, and talking about the truth, and then it will manifest in our life, and we will have that that prescribed duty. Arjuna was given the duty of fighting. Prabhupada was given the duty of going to the West. Everybody will have a piece of the puzzle. Krishna will give that. So, Ananda Bihari, what were you asking?
I was asking how Narottam Nitai Prabhu could enter Grihastha life. Some matchmaking advice, maybe, from you.
I only have to say what's in scripture.
Yeah.
Grihastha life is an ashram, not grihamedi, but grihastha. And there are prescribed sacrifices. The grihastha must receive guests. The grihastha is meant to take care of, bringing children into the world and raise them. The grihastha is meant to give charity. These are different. The grihastha ashram, every ashram has a prescribed set of activities. And if we know what they are and we check off the boxes, we can be in the grihastha ashram. Anyone, right? Anyone can give charity, can give a penny to the temple. Anyone can repeat what they've heard from the spiritual master. Naturally, people have children and raise them, try to instill in them what they've heard from Guru, give them faith and give them access to engage in devotional service, not just toys, but actually service to Krishna. And we see the wonderful, wonderful, wonderful children in Krishna consciousness. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. It does.
Prabhu, does that answer your question? And Min, does that answer your question? Does anybody else have comments?
Karen has her hand up.
Hare Krishna. I just wanted to say that I'm not I don't feel disgruntled by Grihasta life or anything like that. In fact, I actually found that the inspiration of my kids, like especially my daughter, the way when I brought her to the temple, she was just so engrossed and so excited, and she wanted to participate in everything. And I mean, it was almost more of an inspiration to make me more serious. And even with the regulative principles, she took to that more strictly and seriously than me. But my kind of difficulty, I guess, is about um the kind of whirlwind of material life, and the way, like, I have this sort of in the back of my mind, I'm going towards something, but actually time is flying by far faster than I feel that it is. And then I kind of lose this sight, and I get I feel like, when I lost my mom, I realized that I had this striking realization that here I'm worried about, I was trying to get my husband to be able to enter the country so he could be with me, and they're calling me into hospice and palliative care meetings, and getting the house ready for this hospice thing, and all this stuff happening. And where are my kids? Like, see if my dad can take my kids, and I have to go pick them, all this stuff. And then she died that like night while we're busy with all this stupid nonsense. And I had that same feeling, like, wow, like Radhanath Swami is not going to be around forever either. I maybe have missed my chance in this material incarnation to be in his presence, and just to get that, to find that instruction. And I think, like I mentioned in the chat, maybe I had a more kind of literal understanding of this idea of following the instructions of the spiritual master. Like, I feel like I've been at this crossroads for a while where I really need to make a big life-changing decision, and I could use that kind of mentorship or just some guidance. And I don't somebody mentioned a resource on the Bhakti Center, but I kind of had like um, just a confusion about how to keep that focus while um, while years are flying by, at an alarming rate. Sorry. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Karen. Adi Prabhu, you have a comment on that?
Well, she's there. Sometimes we're there and we don't know we're there. She knows what's right. She has a beautiful heart. She has a sincere intention, and just calmly take one step at a time. We know that in the householder ashram, if you go to Ananda Vihari's house, you'll see this little altar with beautiful Jagannath deities and Shalgram Shila, and they take care of the deities. And they think, this is not my house, this is Krishna's house. And I'm living in the servants' quarters. And I'm cooking Krishna's breakfast, and I'm cleaning Krishna's floor, and I'm decorating, bringing a flower, a glass of water, and I'm chanting my rounds before the deity, and I'm reading together with the family at least a few verses a day, something, so it becomes, the home is like the spiritual world, Bhaktivinoda Thakur said. If it's done in the consciousness of that this deity is Krishna here, and I'm his servant. And then watch. Krishna will give you one opportunity after another to share Krishna consciousness, to practice Krishna consciousness. Get up in the morning, bathe, bow down before the deity, chant your rounds, cook breakfast and offer it to Krishna. It's actually a very simple life. and we can be confident that everything is going on in a wonderful way. It may seem like it's going on faster than I would like, but actually, we can just be peaceful within a storm, calm within a storm, and confident that everything is working out perfectly. Isn't it? Does that answer your question a little bit?
I think if I say something, I think it's a really
Let's hear
beautiful.
from her. Let's hear from her
Yeah.
how that landed. Did that help?
Yeah, it did, and I mean it's also like I do or try to do these morning routines like you mentioned, and I it is it's validating and encouraging that to remember that that is kind of the maybe foundation of it all.
Yeah, you're cool. You're inspiring us just by your smile. You know, we see, we believe that you are a person who loves Krishna, is trying to please Krishna, and so even in this class, you're helping people. And Maturana wants to help to share this subject. But anything other comments from you before we go?
Well, about this, how to find that guidance from a spiritual mentor and in terms of like life decisions and direction and how best, because like I pray and I ask for guidance, and I think I mentioned before, I feel like I get really mixed messages, like things are going beautifully here and then things are also coming together there, but actually over there it's sort of like I'm getting to serve in terms of leading kirtan and Annabelle playing her violin. It's like a very different kind of service, but here I can provide healing for people that need help. And so it's just a very I just don't have a kind of
What does Scripture say? Scripture says in Chaitanya Charitamrita, first we have some faith, and then we associate with devotees, and we hear a lot from different people. And then there's a point, Chaitanya Charitamrita says, there's a point when one voice among the many devotees that we hear from, we begin to say, you know what, when I have a doubt, I find myself going to this person. And when I hear from this person, my doubts are dispelled. And I become peaceful and joyful. So that's the process. That gradually, Krishna sees in your heart that you're looking for guidance, and Krishna Savashitaham Ridisani Visto Matasmit Yoganam Apohanam Cha Vedasya Savarham Edividyo Vedanta Grid Veda Vidivichaham says that Krishna hears that desire, and Krishna grants that desire. So watch and see. You seem to be coming to the point, but you know what? There's a lot of voices, but who do I go to and say, this is what I'm doing? And that person can say to me, well done, my good and faithful servant. I'm pleased with what you're doing. And then that's our success. We have many gurus, we have no guru in one sense, Prabhupada said. So there's somebody that we're looking to, somebody that we find ourselves turning to and asking from and hearing from, and then everything becomes clear. At least that's what I've heard. That's what Scripture says.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.
Maternath Prabhu, you were going to say something?
Yeah, just thinking about Rupa Goswami says that we should seek out devotee association who is like-minded and like-hearted. So also with a mentor, we can be praying. It doesn't have to be a guru. It can be, I'm looking for a mentor and a devotee who maybe understands more than me. But there's an importance of them being like-hearted because they can understand us in a deeper way than somebody who's very much in a different mode of life or relates to people in a different way. So if we pray for that, Krishna, I really want a mentor, whoever you send. But I'd like them to be like-hearted, like-minded. I need to have somebody understand me and can give me guidance, understand my life, where I'm at. That can be very helpful to have that. Rupa Goswami really recommends that, who's one of our great acharyas. yeah, that was what I was going to say. And also one thing about taking a guru, when we truly will, I think Krishna, it's not, I think having guru means also, guru means heavy. So when we're ready to say Krishna, I want this false ego to be worked on. Then Krishna says, okay, you're ready for a guru, because being in the presence of a guru or taking instructions, it's hard. It can be very hard on our false ego. And we're ready to work on that, where we open that doorway up. It's not all flowers and easy going.
You've asked the question and you answered the question. Krishna will provide. Krishna knows what you need. Krishna's there. He's not just some word in a book. He's a person. He's watching you. Adantarasa Paramano Chayantarasam. He's within and between every atom. He knows you inside and out. He's always been with you, always ready, like the two birds in the tree. When you turn to Krishna, Krishna will speak. When Arjuna turned to Krishna, with all his troubles and burning heart and hair standing on end and skin dropping his bow, then Krishna spoke, right? And then he became fired up. Everything was clear. So you've got it. You know, you understand what you need, and you're asking, and Krishna will answer. Krishna will answer. Krishna will answer. We'll go to Prabhupada.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So many helpful realizations we just heard from the devotees. Yeah, when we see our family as an impediment, when we see our work as an impediment rather than our kshetra, then it's problematic. But when we see, okay, this is my starting point, somehow or other, Krishna sent this person in my life, so let me work with this, with what I've been given by Krishna for Krishna, and then we'll be peaceful. Because I wish I went to the festival. I wish I never lived here. This is all, it doesn't really help. Stay where you are, work with what you have for Krishna, be enthusiastic and patient, and Krishna will reveal everything in due course of time through devotees like Adipurusha Prabhu, like Mathuranath, who share wonderful practical things in class regularly. Krishna will speak. Karen, and you are there 100%. Don't even doubt that. You are where you're supposed to be. Don't think that this is an impediment. Where would we be without Isaiah and Annabelle reciting the mantra every morning? Think of that. Okay. So happy Sunday, dear devotees. Thank you for being here, for being our accountability, our inspiration. Thank you. Karen, if Isaiah is around, please bring him on. Annabelle.
Yeah. We leave to go back to Zurich. And so we'll be on the class tomorrow, but it will be not so consistent when we're in the other time zone. Sometimes it's hard to connect at like 1:15 in the afternoon, but we'll be there whenever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, be there whenever, yes.
Yeah.
That's good enough.
Okay. Isaiah. You say Hare Krishna? Can you hear us? Are we still connected?
yeah,
When we
yeah.
walk away from
Yeah,
the house,
yeah.
we lose the connection.
Yes.
Okay. Annabelle, come. Come.
Gotta walk carefully. My pockets are stuffed with raspberries.
Oh.
They-
Oh, look, they picked raspberries from the wild raspberries over there. They offered a Jagannath, and they have picked my mom had this daylily flower farm that's blooming now, so they're offering all those beautiful
And also
flowers too.
Beautiful.
Ferns.
Krishna.
Thank you, Isaiah and Annabelle.
Krishna.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Are you getting
Say Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Annabelle.
Krishna.
Thank you. So sweet. Okay, bye-bye. Hare Krishna. Thank you. We love you. We need you. Haribol.
Thank you, devotees.